Good morning, viewers. Fair morning to you. And do not quibble with me over the hour and exactitude. Trouble me not with your afternoons and evenings, your nights and twilights. I have bidden you good morning, and that is all you will get from me. I speak from a morning mood, so let the listener interpret with a morning mentality. Welcome to my channel. Let them call me the Pied Poet. I have for you another prose poem in the fashion of springtide. Tell me, do you like the spring? Does it tickle your love handles and provoke your passions? Then listen on, for I shall flower before you in technicolor verses. I shall raise before your eyes the specter of spring from the loam of the earth. Be not afraid of my romantic necromancies. Let them serve you well, and well they will serve you. Let them sing in solicitude, persuade and possess you, and hear them proclaim, by uncanny command of your very own voice, that it must be spring again. It must be spring again. Don't ask me how I know. The signs are there, the seasons tell. They don't keep secrets. So, in similitude with the season and its spirit of disclosure, I'll fashion for you a poem, made from spring stuff, like tender sprigs of grass and robin's eggshells, from onion bulb sprouts and scoops of strawberry sherbet. I sing the sacred mysteries of spring, for now the first blooms burgeon on the vine. In spring, indeed, the bud bombs detonate, blasting colors into our eyes and restoring our sight to us violently. This, as a fantasia of feeling, wells up in the spring-goer, old familiar feelings, refreshed by the blush of new blooms. I say again, it must be spring, for there are fairies about. Folk of the fairy ilk can be spotted, spinning in the sun shafts like electron orbitals. Such whirring and dancing and dizzy spells of conjuring. Keep your distance, or you'll go giddy for good. There are fair weather folk who thrive on a temperate troposphere, a colony of nomads in perpetual search of spring, which season also provides their sole source of food. For under cover of moonlight, fairies are known to graze on the manna of fallen flower petals. Such food does feed their basic need for bright complexions, fresh facades, and dainty figures. They come in a cloud of fairy dust, mingled with rays of long shadowing sunlight. Thus they always linger in a luminous overcast, suffused by an otherworldly glow. This light-bearing cloud pronounces their presence. It stores up liquid sun in its powder-puff pockets and looms at the ready for an outpouring of enlightenment. Rest assured, the scientists will do their best to explain these sprites away, reducing them by sterile strokes of Occam's razor, till nothing more remains than swarming insects in a frenzied race to reproduction. But we of clearer vision, we of folkloric faith, with eyes bedizened by noble aesthetics, we know better, for we know beyond reason. And it is from this yonder knowledge that we profess yonder realities, too grand for human logic to encompass. And the astute among you may discern that this yonder profession is really just prophecy proper. And should that really surprise you, did you imagine that all the prophets had passed? That they with their warnings had faded away like their fame? Poppycock. True prophecies never die, for prophets are like poppies that shoot up each spring, pointing each new generation to yonder truths, with the fresh conviction that only spring can evoke. Yes, I feel certain it must be spring, and as I peer into your heart, I perceive a sprouting of persuasion there, of the very kind that has already overgrown me. And maybe, yes, quite possibly, the foremost proof of spring is in precisely this. I am speaking of the soulward bloom of springtide. As such, a season is a season in the utmost sense when it is ensouled by the beholder. For, once ensouled, it can be pondered, and through pondering known, and through knowing it can be cherished. Finally, it is remembered, and this part is important, for memories encapsulate matters of the soul, saving them in seed coats for storing in the soil, there to keep till the season's reprise, when the coats are cracked by the rains of reminding, and we start again to sense that something spring-like this way comes. Of this we are certain. We certainly are certain it must be spring. Well, there you have it. And are you not convinced? Did I not make it bloom with the speech of springtide? Well, whatever then. Keep your opinions to yourself. We've reached the end now, and we're quite out of time for galling dialectic. Do yourself a favor. Visit my channel, The Pied Poet, on YouTube. That's Pied, P-I-E-D, Poet, on YouTube. There you're free to view more of my curious content to your heart's delight. Until next time, friend.